The people who study and do research in science strive to discover how the physical world works. Scientists predict the ways they think things occur and then observe certain phenomena, making hypotheses which they try to prove or understand better through experiments. Knowledge in science is created by studying the work of other scientists, designing ways to prove new or alternative scientific ideas, conducting experiments, gathering data and evidence, and then drawing conclusions based on the data that they collect. These empirical methods help scientists verify or contest the hypotheses, theories, and laws of nature. We won't do any of this scientific work because it would be impossible to achieve in an online course. But we will try to understand how scientists express their ideas in language, in a particular rhetorical style of their disciplinary language. While scientists conduct their experiments, they prepare scientific reports that detail their research to the larger scientific community. Whether in biology, chemistry, or physics, these laboratory reports have a very specific format and demand methods of presenting newfound scientific knowledge in specialized language. We will simulate this scientific language as faux scientists, attempting to mimic their rhetoric to convince our audience that we know what we are talking about. In this module, you will learn not science, but the following things about the use of language and rhetoric in the sciences. 1. You will learn some scientific terminology. 2. You will learn to identify the different sections of a science report. 3. You will learn to analyze specialized language and put it into your own words. 4. You will learn to recognize the types of research that scientists do. And 5. You will learn to distinguish primary research evidence from secondary scientific research. If you have read the vocabulary and concepts list of this module, you might encounter a lot of words that seem strange. It belongs to a particular discourse community that has a specific set of literacy standards that elude the general public. This module gets you to think about how scientists, i.e. doctors, environmental legislators, and pharmacists, must rephrase their language in plain English so that the mother who has to give a correct dosage to her child, the people who care about ecology, or the person who needs to understand the counterindications of their prescriptions can understand the explanations of their scientifically educated expert guidance. When you read the scientific reports accompanying this section, you might not understand some of the terminologies or concepts discussed in the report, but you should decipher what the role of each section plays, as well as how and for what purpose that section informs the scientific community. Consider how you can replace the difficult vocabulary with words that are more familiar to you, or fabricate terms that sound science-y. For example, the sentence, quote, pathogenic microorganisms were selected in particles on the subway that cause adverse health effects in human pulmonary and respiratory systems, unquote, could be translated to, researchers discovered germs on the subway that endanger human breathing and heart functions. Or even more simply, subway germs hurt people's lungs and hearts. At this point, you do not have to understand the minute details of these scientific articles, but you should identify the organizational and research strategies of scientists, as well as their methods of reporting their investigations in language. For our purposes, we will study scientific documents, key into how their language sounds, and then produce documents that could bamboozle people into thinking we know what we're talking about. Admittedly, this module falsifies information and knowledge, but for the aims of understanding how language shapes scientific realities in the world. P.S. For those in the scientific community, I apologize for the linguistic deception of this module, but if you belong to that community, you will better comprehend not scientific fact, but scientific language that produces fact.